welcome back to Purgatory After Hours on Guido. Today's topic, we're going to touch base on apprenticeships in tattoo schools. It should be really exciting, really interesting. But, first, I'm here with my host.
Hi, I'm your co-host. I'm Moy. And today we have a special guest, one of our resident artists, Amanda.
Hi, guys.
So, Amanda, tell us a little bit about you. What got you into tattooing?
So, since I was little, I used to draw a lot. So, I would just be playing around. Plus, my dad, he's an artist from Cuba. And I just, has a daughter, copied my dad. So, wanted to be, drawing stuff. And when I got here in the United States and I started seeing tattoos, I was like, oof, I like this. And more, I want to be rebellious to my parents.
Rebellious is being really important in all tattoo artists' lives, being rebellious to our parents.
That's the whole point, being an outlaw. Right?
I'm the black cheetah from the family.
Yeah, there you go. Black cheetah, black sheep. Same thing, right?
The red sheep.
That too.
Well, what's your styles? What do you like?
I like fine line and black and gray.
Fine line, black and gray?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think your biggest obstacle was getting into tattooing?
I cannot think an obstacle. Probably will be more of your own self.
Mm-hmm.
Your own self is the one putting the obstacles. Not doing stuff or not. Because, what is most hard, it's you have to put too much into it and you have to prioritize some stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard when you're beginning and you're not getting that much money out of it, but it's a process.
Yeah.
So it was basically paying the bills what, slowed you down. You felt it slowed you down to get into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's funny because you actually went to a tattoo school.
Yep.
So just give us a brief understanding of how that worked out.
So I was just searching and I didn't know anything about apprenticeship at all. Because I was like, okay, so normally to learn something, you gotta go to school. That's my mindset from years of I just need to go to a school, learn what I have to learn, and then I will do it. So I was searching up and there apparently I found the school and I went there and I was talking with the owner of the place and I paid and I started learning. Then I discovered when I paid off everything that you can do apprenticeship and you just need to be present.
Yeah. I mean, that's my biggest pet peeve with tattoo schools is it eats off of people that have no knowledge of what the industry has to offer. So they see these kids that don't know the proper protocols, that don't know the steps to actually get an apprenticeship and learning. So they utilize their ignorance, I guess is the right word. Yeah. And they take their money and teach them nothing.
Yeah, they basically take advantage of people that don't have the security or knowledge about it. Because it's hard. It's hard to walk into a store and say, hey, I want to learn. So I really think that you did it because it was the way you thought it was supposed to meant to be. Because so I'm going to learn something. I need to be at school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it makes sense to somebody not knowing. You go to school to be a doctor. You go to school to be in accounting. So, it makes sense in a theory, but the tattoo industry is not a normal career. And, that's my biggest issue that I've always had with tattoo schools. We had one in New York for the longest. It didn't last very long though. You know what I mean? It was such a horrible experience and thank God it's closed. We don't have any more that I know of in New York. But down here in South Florida, there's so many. And it's how much money are they actually getting out of people? Think about that. You come down here and people who aren't from this country, they're trying to make a living. Mm-hmm. They're trying to make life. And they come here and they say, well, I'm an artist. I could be a tattoo artist because Miami is the dream. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're not understanding that they're getting scammed.
Yeah. it's basically taking your money. But I think you can't like you can grab like all the things you learn at a studio, like all the experiences you get, all the the little things, and just squish it up in a month or squish it up in I don't know how long was your
It was like 3 months.
3 months. See, I don't think you like all the experience you get here. You
Yeah.
can like squish it up in such a little time. I mean, you can get basic stuff like I don't know cross contamination and the instructions, but like the experience of how a tattoo shop actually works.
Yeah.
You can't get that from school.
So Amanda, tell me, if I was to sign up for a tattoo school, what would the life look like?
So at least what I was used to do, it will be like going on the weekends, going since they open until they close, so 12 to 8, and I will have to set up on a little space on a table, so I mean like a table like this, and I will have to put like a mat and just clean everything, have everything clean, and put the face key on top, and just set up my machine or having the inks and stuff out and start practicing whatever they have there as an stencil to just practice on.
So did they not sit there and like guide you, teach you?
They some days they were like there teaching me and explaining me some stuff, but it was kind of like more because there were still tattoo artists that they were just back and forth and they were still going with clients. So there will be one moment with us explaining us something general and then just leaving because they have a client or they have to do other stuff.
Yeah.
Did there was like a moment where you actually saw them tattoo? Like yeah. Okay, so you were like there watching them. Okay, because I think that's at least that's important.
I mean, that's cool, but it's like, were they knowledgeable? Like, did they tell you what they were doing, how they were doing it, what needles they were using? Did they tell you what inks they were using, why certain inks are not that great, why certain needles are not that great?
Well, not that much.
So they weren't really breaking down the terms. They were just saying, "Hey, watch me, and I'll tell you how I'm pulling this line." Basically,
Vague information.
So they're not telling you shouldn't use Mom's ink because it's bad ink.
Yeah.
Right. They weren't telling you to stop buying your needles from Amazon, and cheap needles aren't the greatest needles.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean that's where it comes down to. That's where I have a problem with tattoo schools, because sure you might get some knowledge from it, but that knowledge that they teach you is knowledge you can learn on YouTube for free. Like you can watch Carl Grace, you can watch so many different amazing tattoo artists and learn way more. And these artists that do tattoo schools, it's like they're cool with receiving a lot of your money, but they only want a little bit of your time. Now, when I take on an apprentice, it's like a family. It's a commitment. Like we're a unit now. Like you are my apprentice. We are one. You know what I mean? So that's why tattoo schools to me never made sense to me, because the one in New York, like when they sold it out to, it was a school where they used to, you used to be able to go get a loan to pay for the tattoo school. And it was like going to hair school. And I was like, what? They're really doing this to people? And you would get it cheap. Back in the day, it was eBay. It would sell these cheap kits.
Oh.
And these artists or kids or whatever would just be tattooing people for $50. You go in the door, drop $50, and you get a tattoo from the tattoo school kids. That's how they did it. And it was such a horrible thing, and I never understood it. And a lot of those people, they never taught you, like, you know, cross-contamination. They never taught you, like, the valuable parts of tattooing, such as line depth, line weights. They never taught you, like, proper saturation of the skin, stuff like that, stuff that you should know as an art, coming in as an artist. So tattoo schools, to me, they've always been a waste of time and a scam, but it's like now they're growing, and it's like, how do you push out there in the world that they're no good? And most shops won't even hire anybody that goes to tattoo school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
something that I at least I don't like personally about tattoo school is that I think when you're having an apprentice, as a tattoo artist. I've never had an apprentice, but I've been an apprentice. And I think you build like a bond with the person that's teaching you, like a friendship. And I just feel like tattoo schools are more like, I don't know, when a baby bird is just newborn and you say, fly, bitch, and just go ahead. If you do it, you do it. Or if not, you crash. So they just care about, money. It's their business. So they don't build like any trust in you and that you're going to do good. You're going to build yourself as a good artist. And I don't know. I just feel it's a little bit empty.
Yeah.
Because at least the people that been in my life and has taught me stuff, like I'm friends with, and I still like value and treasure that. And I think just tattoo schools are very kind of empty,
Yeah. What do you think? Give me like 3 positive things that you learned from the tattoo school.
Well, when it was color blending, it was a guy that teach me a lot on color blending, on shadows, and yeah, I'm meeting good other artists.
I'll stay in 2. Do you feel like you've learned more in here? Like, yeah. Okay. See,
Way more.
Yeah, I mean, onto the topic of like apprenticeships. Like my shop, I opened 5 years ago in New York, and it's been built on apprentices. I don't hire outside in. I don't like hiring artists that shop hop. I don't believe in it. I think it's disrespectful to your clients. You know what I mean? If you're shop hopping, because they can never know where you are.
Yeah.
And to a client, that should be a red flag if you're shop hopping, because why are you moving around so much? Like, why don't you have a home base? You know what I mean? So, my shop was built on apprentices. They're all amazing. Even the artists that have moved on, I'm super proud of them. They're all like my kids. And I've always treated them like family. We do stuff together. We've went on vacations together. We do conventions together. We've done everything together, down to personal stuff. They get mad at me because I won't go to their parties. But, I'm in bed at like 10 o'clock. They want to stay up and have a Christmas party until 2 o'clock in the morning.
We're old, dude.
Playing Jenga. I don't know. But, it goes back to like, a unit, being a unit. When you're my apprentice, you're a part of me. And, my daughter, she's always been around me in the tattoo shops, and she was my apprentice. She's now an artist, and she had it really hard because I would bother her at home to do stuff. You know what I mean? And she's definitely someone I'm really proud of because her artwork is incredible right now. I don't have one apprentice or regret that I've had. Even the ones that didn't make it, I don't regret them. You know what I mean? It's all learning lesson. But I feel like apprenticeships aren't hard to get, and if you feel like it's hard to get and hard to do, then you're not trying.
Yeah.
It goes back to like you hung out in shops before you worked in a shop.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like I used to, like be the desk girl and be there, like with the promise that I was gonna learn at some point. But they never like actually wanted to teach me. They just like keeping me there doing other stuff.
Work.
Yeah. So I just started like, snooping when they were tattooing, looking, and like I had like a basic knowledge of what you had to do, but I never like actually got myself like to grab a machine and do it. That was like until I got into Peru that someone believed in you and said, "Hey, I think you got talent for this." And you're like, finally. Finally. And that's how I started, basically. But I always been around, like, the tattoo industry. Like, maybe doing other stuff, but I knew how to manage and how, like, the tattoo studios work inside. So I think it was kind of easier for me in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been always like really a nervous person to talk to other people sometimes, especially when I don't know them and they are like almost 2 feet tall. And so when I got in the shop, I was obviously like, I'm kind of nervous because, I always feel like a little chicken. And that's something that I'm really grateful since I got here, because I always felt like welcomed, like warm, and it's nice. It's nice, and I think Amanda has felt it too since she's been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a very close environment. Like, you guys haven't been to the New York shop, so one day you'll see everybody up there is pretty close, pretty tight.
We're gonna go. We're gonna go. We'll be up there.
So like I try to keep that family feeling in both of my shops. You know what I mean? That's why I go extra for people who are with me. Like, I don't see you guys as employees. I see my apprentices and my artists as family. We're a unit. We're getting money together. We're doing art together. If you guys win a trophy, I win a trophy. That's how I see it. If you guys are making money, I'm making money. If you guys are pushing amazing work, I see it as a benefit to me. And at the same time, we're all happy. We built a family. There's been times when, we needed each other outside of tattooing, and, everybody jumps for each other.
Yeah.
So, a lot of shops don't have that no more. And especially in New York, where I'm from, there's a lot of shop hopping that goes up there. And it's so common to see local artists up there every 6 months posting that they're at a new shop. And once again, that's toxic behavior for me. So, I'm very proud of my apprentices. And I'm always so pro apprentice, and you get all these old school tattoo artists that are like, our industry is oversaturated. Why are you teaching your competition? Like, well, because I'm not gonna tattoo forever, and I'm gonna own a shop forever.
Yeah.
Like, who else is gonna tattoo?
At least in Latin America, that's something that you see a lot, the shop hopping.
Yeah.
Like from country to country a lot. Because I have friends that do it. I don't judge them. I know they're maybe traveling and stuff. But unless you're like an owner of a tattoo shop, usually the other artists are not there for more than a year, 2 years. So it's like in Latin America, it's pretty common to see like the shop jumping around.
What it is too, and it happens everywhere. I'm sure it happens in the Midwest. I'm sure it happens in the West Coast. Everywhere you go, you're gonna have toxic shop owners, and they always try to cutthroat everybody. And they're like, "I'm gonna steal your artists, and I'm gonna offer them a better deal." And it's like,
has it happened to you?
Yeah, but you know what? The grass is never greener on the other side. And like I said, I got love for everybody that's been in and out of my doors.
Yeah.
And I don't hold anything against anybody. So it's like, sometimes you have to let people create their own mistakes and discover. Sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean? Not saying my grass is greener, but I can promise you it's not greener on the other side.
Not saying my grass is greener, but I water mine.
It's like, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. No shop owner's perfect. No artist is perfect.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I have my own toxic traits. You know what I mean? And my crew's dealt with it. And thing is, they have changed me a lot. Like, a couple of my artists, they're young, and they have, like, silenced me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, calmed me down more than I used to be. And that's probably why I haven't been canceled.
You know how I know you got your toxic trait? Because I know now what the purple glove is.
Yeah, because I told you.
I know now.
Yeah, but you're not going to know when it comes. So
We're gonna be checking the gloves.
Yeah, we're going to start checking the gloves.
Amanda, have you ever tried to get, like, an apprenticeship? Did you ever go anywhere to, like, ask about apprenticeships?
No. So once I started, when I finished the school, I was tattooing at home, and luckily I found a shop the area, and it was willing me to take me without having that much knowledge, and she teach me a lot. I wasn't an apprentice because I was still getting the clients, still getting the walk-ins.
I don't knock it because I never got an apprenticeship. In the first episode, I talked about, like, my experience. Nobody would apprentice me. Where I'm from, nobody, cared to. They laughed at me, and now I take their business.
Because you wouldn't fit in the chairs.
No, I was a lot smaller back then.
Oh.
But the thing is, it's like, it's very cutthroat back home where I'm from, and you know the artists then they're like well-known artists, and you know I looked up to them, and this was MySpace days, and I'm like loving their work that they're posting. I'm like, wow, I want to be just like them. And then they would laugh at me. They would like talk about me behind my back, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And now I laugh because I get clients in my door that are from
Yeah.
their shop, and they're like, I'm never going there again. And I'm like, well,
Oh.
you are
Yeah,
welcome
I
here.
think I think the attitude is really important. Like the
Yeah.
attitude you pull towards people. We've had clients that complain about attitude of other artists, and they just come here because we're nice, we're cool, we're
Yeah.
It pays to be humble. The thing is like, you're gonna win with love.
yeah
If you're an asshole to somebody and you're arrogant,
yeah.
you're gonna lose everything you ever built. And sometimes it sucks to say, but clients are always right.
Yeah.
And you know what? They could be wrong, but you need to treat them like they're right, because when you're that arrogant and you're like, "Nah, fuck you, it's your fault. I spelt that wrong." I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, we both spelt it wrong, but we're gonna fix this."
Yeah.
They will take a positive response quicker than a negative response, and you won't get a bad review.
Because getting tattooed I mean, you're obviously paying for that tattoo, but you're paying for an experience too.
Hmm.
And I think that's important, offering like a comfortable experience where you understand, because you're going through pain.
Yeah.
You're somebody is causing you pain, because tattoos do hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I think like giving the client the most peaceful experience that you can do, it's gonna pay off. Like they're gonna be like, oh, this guy is really nice, treats me really well. Maybe that tattoo hurts fucking a lot, but I know he's a nice guy.
Yeah. And you know what it is too, is like outside of apprenticeship, and like I think a lot of mentors fail their apprentices when they don't teach them the marketing and business aspect of tattooing.
Yeah.
And it really sucks because like there's so many great artists out there, and then they'll have like 150 followers on Instagram. And I'm like, you're doing like big great portraits. You should be having like 15,000 followers or more.
Yeah.
And it's sad because these are artists that are 2 years in doing fucking clean portraits, and I'm like, I'm 17, 18 years in, and I'm not doing portraits.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. It's very like unbalanced, because if you're not dancing on TikTok or doing stuff, but you're a great artist,
Yeah.
you're not getting enough followers. So I think our job has kind of mutated
Yeah.
into being social networking freaks too.
One thing I will say is my experiences outside of nobody ever wanting to apprentice me. This shop took a chance on me, and you know it was in Miami, Silverback Tattoos, and Q, he's a smart businessman. This man owns so many shops up the East Coast. Like a lot of what I do today, I modeled after what he did, because this man was a genius. Like we had our back and forth, and you know we didn't see eye to eye for a bit, but Q, I still love you, and Chi-Chi, I love you too. But anyway, his brain when it came to marketing tattooing, like it's untouched. Like others try to replicate it, and he's still killing it right now. And this is, oh my God, 14 years ago, and he's still killing it. And you know, like everything I do now, I modeled it after how he ran business. The only difference is I do it a little different my way.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, give a lot of props to Q and, you know, the shop that I started in. And, you know, I did a little, you know, spots here and there at other shops, but that was probably my best memory coming up, because I learned so much from that one experience, and it only advanced me when I had to go back to New York and work in other shops. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, so back to like as far as like apprenticeships, tattoo schools. Amanda, what would you say, like if you could go back and do it differently? Would you find a different tattoo school, or would you go for an apprenticeship?
I will go for an apprenticeship. it will be so much more worth it than just paying somebody to teach me something that I can probably see on YouTube.
That's the fact. YouTube is probably your best mentor, to be honest.
Yeah.
I learned so much just on YouTube, and like I have two great friends right now who been teaching me realism. Never wanted to be a realism artist in my life. Love traditional tattoos, neo-traditional. I recently just started getting into realism, and my two buddies, they sat me down, started teaching me. But I watch a ton of YouTube. The shit that I learned on YouTube, I'm like, it only advanced me.
Yeah. I think I just think that the most important thing you can do, like, I think it's even more important than actually tattooing fake skin, is just watching. Just watching, and, every movement, every hand position, like, the things I've learned have been, like, way quicker of me watching somebody tattoo live or in a video than, like, jumping into it at once. I remember this once, I was working in Peru. I wasn't tattooing yet, and he was doing this huge portrait on a rib and stuff. And I remember like looking at it and looking at the hand positions and then trying to copy that into fake skin, and I couldn't. And I was so frustrated. But when I actually got to tattoo someone, I remember everything I watched, and it worked, because tattooing fake skin is definitely not the same.
It's so horrible.
It's definitely not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, fake skin is good to train your hand for hand movements.
Yeah.
The yellow stuff I can never figure out. Ever. I don't know why I can't ever figure it out. The pound of flesh stuff is halfway decent. I really like that stuff. But fake skin is just something where you just practice your hand movements, techniques.
That's basically it. But it's really not the same. It doesn't feel the same. I think the only thing that only got me like near kind of there was like orange. Tattooing an orange.
Oh.
I practiced a lot on oranges, and it was kind of like skin, like human skin, but it was round and it was hard.
My advice, just tattoo people.
It was just like tattooing, I don't know, a shoulder.
Yeah, just get a skin and do.
If you're an apprentice and you're an artist and you're trying different techniques,
just get your friends.
Just get a friend.
Yeah.
Because you know what the thing is, nothing's like human skin.
Or do it on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, my one artist, Lindsay, when she was an apprentice, she would get bored and just tattoo her whole leg is her stuff. And she's won trophies on her own tattoos on her own leg.
That's super cool.
So, and that girl had drive. Like 6 months in, she was pulling clean tattoos. Yeah, that girl had drive.
Yeah, skin is always gonna
and
be.
she's right now. She does the conventions with me, and she kills it. And even like Dana and Skylar, like they kill it up there. I can't do half of the stuff they do, and I'm like, I can't even tell people you were my apprentices because I can't do what you do. I can't do fine line tattoos, and Skylar does fine line tattoos, but her fine line tattoos are unique. Like there's a sense of boldness to it, but it's not bold. Like it's hard to explain, especially on camera. It's hard to explain. You just have to go look her up and follow her. But her tattoos are just so clean. Like her points are like so sharp. I feel like I could prick my finger and hurt myself. I'm like, how do you do that? Like I'm a traditional artist, so I'm like my lines are bold and crisp. That's it. So yeah, different experiences and stuff. But when you were coming up, what would you say, your machine of choice was?
Well, unfortunately, it was like, okay, I cannot get one from Amazon because I know it's too cheap and it's not gonna work good. But at the same time, I have to go to like a person that sells machine and see what it will be like the cheapest option.
Yeah.
Because remember, I pay at school, so it was like
the struggle.
Yeah.
The struggle of paying the school. I'm not gonna waste another $1,000 on a machine. So it's just like I have to restrain myself and get the cheaper one.
Machines are an investment.
Yeah.
are an investment.
I argue that all the time. You're only as good as your equipment.
Yeah.
And like, I've seen amazing tattoos done with cheap machines. Don't get me wrong, it can be done.
Yeah.
But let's think of the longevity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially, I see people running one machine for everything on a tattoo, and I could never do that because,
I can do it.
well, mechanically speaking, one tattoo takes so much life out of that machine.
Oh,
You're
well, yeah.
lining with it, you're shading
yeah.
with it. Your machine is burning out. Like,
I'm tired,
why
boss.
why keep doing that? You know what I mean? Like, I run 2 machines now. You know, I use Bishop wands, and the best investment I ever had. Sure, they're expensive, but for 3 tattoos in, they pay themselves off. So being a tattoo artist, nothing's too expensive. Everything pays itself off.
Do you like coil machines?
I love coil. Actually, I still have coil machines. I just never use them because I'm really lazy and I'm not scrubbing tubes.
Oh, yeah. Probably it.
My thing is, I didn't start using rotaries and pens until like 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah.
Really?
I used coils my whole career, and I had a Soba, I had a Pike. I've had so many different kinds of coils, and I could build a machine. You know, all my apprentices, they know how to build machines because before they can move up to being an artist, they have to build a machine. And the thing is like nothing will ever hit like a coil.
Yeah, they're strong. I like coil machines. I mean, well, I started with coil machines. My only issue with the coil machines were the noise.
I love the noise.
No, dude. No, I hate the noise.
I love it.
No, because you're like sitting there for 6-5 hours and your client is just annoyed by the noise. You're annoyed by the noise, so I just like the
You want to know why I like the noise? Because unlike the machines today, I could tell if something's wrong.
Oh.
So if I use a coil, I tattoo by sound.
Hmm.
So if I hear a little kick in my sound, I know something's wrong with my coil.
Yeah.
So I could stop it, tune it, you know, check the coils and check the capacitor, make sure everything is, you know, good. And where a rotary or a pen, it's like a guessing game.
They're purring.
Like, I just had a Bishop wand, and it's probably my fault, but the motor just gave out on me mid-tattoo. And I'm like, I would never have known that was happening. It never gave me a warning.
I'm dying. I'm dying.
No, Daddy.
So, but there's pros and cons to everything. And, you know, back to, like, being, like, the pro, my Bishop wand, I could switch out my needles. It's less cleaning.
Yeah.
It's less maintenance. Where my coil, you gotta have a tube, you got your needle in the bar, you got your rubber band, then you got your grommet. It's so much more. And then you got your cord you gotta wrap. And I'm like,
You gotta put it together before
yeah,
you start.
It's so much easier just to use a pen.
Yeah.
So, but you know that there are like cheap pens that I heard really good reviews about, like the mass machines I heard are really good.
That was my first machine, a mast, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Did you use mom's ink too?
No.
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 Wormhole.
But my mom beat me up a lot when I got my first tattoo. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, I never got to use those inks. I remember a friend of mine, like, you know, a nice friend, like, oh, here, take this. When I like didn't know anything about anything, he gave me black ink. Very suspicious black ink that didn't even have a name.
Yeah, it was just Bibles burnt.
Yeah, and I remember like when I was like learning and stuff, I just grabbed like a needle, like a house sewing needle from a sewing kit, and I just started like doing something in my finger.
Stick and poke down.
Yeah, and then like a month later it was green. I still have my finger though, like, but it was green.
Yeah, that's rough. I'm a snob when it comes to ink. I can't use anything that looks cheap, that is cheap. I can't use anything that has like a new suspicious name.
What's your favorite brand of inks?
For color?
Yeah. Oh, both of them.
Eternal.
Eternal?
But black's only Allegory.
Okay.
I cannot use anything but allegory. Problem is I use dynamic, and to me, I know everybody's like, oh, dynamic. It's trash to me. I hate it. It changes colors over time. It's just garbage, and the gray wash is even worse. And then they came out with colors, and I was like, okay, let me give them a try. So I used their colors one time. Worst decision ever. So never again will I use dynamic. But allegory, love their black. I just got their gray wash set. That was amazing. Loved it. That was like tattoo ink porn. I loved it. But colors, it's eternal. Very few fusion colors I love. Like, don't get me wrong, Fusion's another amazing company.
Yeah.
But I only use a couple of their colors. You know what I mean? I don't use a ton. And I don't try to dabble too much because, once again, my clients are priority to me. So I'm not going to practice
On
new
your
products. So, yeah.
I just got guinea pigs, friends.
Apprentices.
Us.
Yeah.
Us.
What about you, man? What would you say your brand ink is?
XX Panther. Because at first I was using Dynamic because it was like, oh, it's the brand that everyone uses. It's what they were using.
It's overrated.
And I was like one time watching a video because I was like, well, let me see all the different inks. And this guy did like line work plus filling and a little bit of shadow with different brand inks.
Mm-hmm.
And at least when I saw it heal on the skin, the one that I liked the most, it was XX Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried and I was like, yeah.
I never tried that one.
It's decent. I've used it before.
Yeah.
A couple of my artists in New York, they use it. It's just that, once again, I'm an ink snob. So when I'm comfortable with something, I stick to it, and that's that. Like, even my needles. Like, I try not, unless it's like dire emergency, I don't use anything but Da Vinci. Like, I have been stuck using other needles at like conventions because I forgot needles, and I hate my life because they don't hit the same. They're not smooth. But I'll make anything work. If I gotta make a needle, we'll just take some guitar string and make it.
Swing it, needle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
Okay.
So
Prisoner to it.
yeah, that's true. But you know what? You ever seen some really nice prison ink? It's actually really impressive.
Yeah. They make their own machines out of what? Soap?
Yeah. Sorry if my voice sounds a little messed up. I'm sick. So
He's going through puberty again.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Midlife puberty crisis. But so Amanda, I mean, overall, would you say like not recommend tattoo school?
No.
If say somebody was watching this and they're like wanting to get into tattooing, what would your advice be?
Go to a tattoo shop. Try to find a tattoo shop that's not toxic and just see what is around.
Yeah.
Check what is around and check all the tattoo artists that there are around there and go ahead and just ask for apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Because in any other way, most shops, it will be going two ways. Or they will get advantage of you as an apprentice of doing the cleaning, pick up stuff. Because I saw that when I was trying to see for shops. I saw that on a tattoo shop and I was like, I don't like this. But yeah, I will fully recommend to just do an apprenticeship rather than going to a school. And if you want to go to a school, it will be better if you go to art or stuff. But still, I feel like you can still learn that. And I feel like that your mentor should teach you that too, on how to draw, on how to do stuff, on how to like work with your hands.
You know, my thing is, I feel like a lot of mentors, they care more about money. So when it comes to like teaching somebody, they see it more as an inconvenience unless it benefits them. And it's like, I love teaching. I mean, as you guys know, we'll tattoo and I'll sit there from start to finish. But a lot of mentors, they just throw you to the wolves. And I've done that. But it's more or less I do it because I have enough, like, how can I say it? I have enough faith that they're going to complete the job. I have enough faith in them that they're not going to mess up. So it's like, I've had apprentices where I'm like, they're like, I'm a little nervous about doing this tattoo. I'm like, nah, you got this. Just run it. And then they're like, but what if I mess up? I'm like, fake it till you make it. Run it. And then they always stress it. And then as soon as I just throw them to the wolves, they do a better job that way than if I didn't. If I sat there and held their hand. So, you know what I mean? If you want an apprenticeship, build a portfolio, draw. Because if you're not an artist, you can't be a tattoo artist. That's one thing I do hate. What do you guys think about that?
Dude,
Yeah, they have to.
artist background.
What do you think about iPad artists?
No, I mean I draw on my iPad.
Oh, I draw on my iPad too. 'Cause I'm lazy as
I
fuck.
draw on my iPad.
Everyone
But-
here.
No. But let's be clear. We started drawing like on paper the old way, and I think that's like for whatever you're doing, whatever style you're gonna get. I think like you have to learn anatomy, color theory, light and shading, a bunch of stuff that's gonna be useful. Because tattooing, obviously, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same as drawing on paper or your iPad. It's way different. But the stuff you get from actually drawing and getting all that knowledge, it really helps you out and gives you more of a critic to yourself or a criteria of stuff. So I think like if you don't have like a clue of what you're doing and you're grabbing a machine, you're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah. I mean, I draw on my iPad too, but every painting that I push out, I freestyle. And you know the thing is like artists now they're doing all these flash and it's digital flash.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so hard to like see these new artists up and coming doing watercolor flash, actually painting and doing actual art. But it's like as soon as you speak on it, you're a bad guy. You're a gatekeeper.
They're offended.
Because it's easy to steal something, copy it, and call yourself a tattoo artist. It's easy to like photocopy something and just tattoo it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean that's another pet peeve I got. You know, I love Sharpieing on skin and tattooing it. Like that to me that's fun. I'll Sharpie on skin all day long. But the world we live in today with the art industry, one, a lot of clients don't want it anymore. A lot of clients don't want custom extravagant stuff. And the ones that do want it, they appreciate it, but probably like 10% want custom stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody else wants these small little bangers. And it's like at this rate,
resilient.
you can't even be mad at
The word resilient.
Yeah, you can't even be mad at the new artists because it's like you don't have to be an artist to appease these clients because you're just a typewriter.
Yep. A printer.
You want to get lonely tattooed underneath your eye, you know? Like, it's dumb. But, I mean, my experience, if you're not an artist, you shouldn't be a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And if you have no sense of business, you definitely should not be a tattoo artist because you can be a broke artist real quick.
Yeah. I think it's important that when you're already a tattoo artist, like after you've been and you're already in the business, you keep doing and drawing and painting.
Oh, yeah.
And not on your iPad. Because at least in my side, I think I've learned more doing things manually.
Yeah.
Like with a freaking pencil and a color pencil or whatever I use.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've learned more stuff than actually drawing on my iPad. So I think like when you're already in the business and you're already tattooing and stuff, don't let like those things go away because it's easy to like grab an iPad. It's more comfortable. It's it's not instead of carrying stuff around.
Yeah.
But like doing that at home or whenever you have the chance, I think it's rewarding and I think it teaches you way more.
I mean, let's be honest. Everybody likes to make money. I mean, if we're going to treat this as a business venture, why wouldn't you want to be an artist and sell your artwork? You know what I mean? One-of-a-kind artwork. You know what I mean? You're not digitally pushing things out of a printer. You're painting it by hand. Sell it for more.
Yeah. Or just wait until you die, and after you die, you'll be famous.
Yeah.
Like every other artist in history.
It doesn't work that way anymore because they're taping fucking bananas to walls. selling for $1 million. So the art community alone is lost. Man, listen, did you ever see that shit in Miami?
The banana in the wall?
No, not even that. The people as mermaids fucking wiggling around on the floor, and
What?
they're like, art. And I'm like, no, mental illness. Yeah, it's crazy.
Modern art is really weird.
It's retarded.
Yeah, modern art is
And I know
scary.
everybody hates that word retard. Don't cancel me, but modern art is retarded.
It's weird. It's scary, and I went once to a show of modern dancing, and I was
Horrible.
I was pretty confused. They were having like a stroke in the floor. I was like, "Are you okay?"
It's like somebody trying to practice warm but can't do it. It's horrible. It's just not. It's not good to look at.
Yeah, it's
Half of the art I see people post up, like, I'm thinking my 12-year-old definitely draws better than all of them, and she's a good artist for a 12-year-old, and I'm like, well, why isn't she making more money than Picasso right now? You know, like, I don't get it, but anyway. So, but you know, if I had advice for anybody looking for an apprenticeship, my advice is simple: build a portfolio, an art portfolio, not a tattoo portfolio. Draw. Write a resume of who you are, why you want to do this, what made you decide tattooing was your thing, your style tattooing that you like. You know, just a quick bio of who you are. And final, be drug free, because I don't personally hire apprentices who do drugs. And I'm so anti that I would fire somebody for it. So that's the main thing. If you want to grow as an artist, there's no reason you can't stay clean, do artwork, and build your career, because a strong career is your future. And without that, you won't have a future.
and have a sense of commitment to it, because I think that's what some people lack. Sense of commitment, because they just see it as, oh, I want to make a bunch of money.
40 hours a week you need.
Yeah, and that's not the truth. It's going to be hard at first. It's going to be a struggle. Maybe you're not going to make enough money, but that, that escalates like that. And remember, this is not my first language. Again.
It's crazy you brought that up, and this is going to be my last topic, and then we're going to get on to the comments.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about this new age of people? I won't call them what I usually call them, but talking about apprentices should be paid.
Oh, hell no.
No.
Like what's your take on it? Just be honest. Moy, what's your take?
Dude, I don't think... I obviously know that one of the things that are scary when you're an apprentice is, well, I need the time to make money, and I need to work also to make money. But paying an apprentice just tells you, I think when you get into a studio and you get this commitment that I was talking about, like, that shows a lot about you. That shows a lot what you're going to sacrifice for this, you know? Mm-hmm. And maybe you are not able, to make enough money out of it because you're still, tattooing your friends for free or whatever you're doing. But you can still make it work. Divide your time. You just have to, talk to the owner, talk to your boss or whatever person is there, and make them understand, I'm committed to this, but I also need to make a living. But not asking for money, because I think they're already paying you with what they're teaching you. And that's a lot. I think knowledge and experience cost. Yeah. And actually, at least in my side, I would fucking be grateful to be in a studio. So, yeah, they shouldn't be paying you.
What about you, Amanda? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same. It's basically, when I went to school, I'm paying for you to give me the knowledge.
Yeah.
So why you have to pay me when you're giving me the knowledge to build that money that maybe I'm not getting now, but I'm eventually getting there to get it. So it's not making sense to me of because I'm your apprentice, you have to pay me. No, I'm teaching you, I'm giving you my knowledge, I'm giving you my time that could perfectly spend on doing another design or another client.
Mhm.
Rather, I'm spending it with you, explaining you how to work this, explaining you how all this works. For you to ask me money, like, doesn't make sense. Because this is like something of like both of us, we're spending our time or value time to do this for you to get better. And it's just like, no.
It's an exchange because at some
Yeah.
point that apprentice that's learning from you is going to be working for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so you're the most interested people and for that person to learn is the owner because they're building something that's going to be making money for them
Mhm.
after. So yeah, I think just like soak it up for a little bit and do splitting times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want my opinion?
No. I'm just kidding.
So, I first off think that people think like that are entitled little crybaby bitches. And I don't care who gets mad, but if you think me taking time out of my day to give you something I spent years to develop, to teach you, and I should pay you,
Yeah.
like, you sound stupid. Like, I am not paying any apprentice to do anything for me. I will say this, though. I do let my apprentices make money, but when they do their practice tattoos, there's an apprentice cost where their friend has to pay, and they make that money from that tattoo. I also pay them by the paperwork, so I don't have to pay a desk girl.
Okay.
So, it's not much, it's like $10 paperwork, but my shop in New York say they do $20. 20 paperworks a day. You know what I mean? To an apprentice, that's a lot of money. That's more money than you're making at Burger King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not that I don't take care of my apprentices. It's just that I don't think that anybody learning a trade should ever be paid for learning that trade. A doctor's not getting paid to go to college.
Yeah.
A mechanic's not getting paid to go to mechanic school. You know what I mean? A teacher's not getting paid to learn to be a teacher. So why am I going to pay somebody something that took me years to learn to give my knowledge to somebody else? I'm getting screwed twice.
Yeah.
I had to go through it. Why should I give out my shit that I worked hard for and my struggles that I went through just to hand it down to somebody because they're entitled?
Yeah.
So I'm totally against apprentices shouldn't be paid. Not paying no apprentices. And everybody can say, well, the IRS and the government will say different and the labor laws and blah 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 blah. And no. An apprenticeship is volunteer work. You are volunteered. You're not an employee. You are not, how can I say it? You're not a legal employee. You are volunteering your time. You can voluntarily walk out the door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you. I chose to have you. So if you're not here to learn and you're not here to grow and you walk out that door, you voluntarily are leaving your volunteer spot.
That's why I'm saying you gotta be like grateful for it, because you're getting chose.
Yeah.
You're getting chose to be there. Like, I could have someone else, but I don't.
There's only a handful that I regret, but it's not even a regret. It's just they had some personal things in their life that didn't allow them to progress in their career, and unfortunately, it made them sour towards me because I had to let them go. And of course, you know how that goes. Well, he was a toxic man, toxic masculinity, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I'm a business owner and I don't need you in my shop.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to like valued time and stuff as an apprentice, you're getting paid with the knowledge, you're getting paid with the respect, you're getting paid with the experience, because my apprentices have traveled. They all went to California for a convention. You know what I mean? Like, they all do so many different conventions with me. They've experienced stuff tattoo artists in my area haven't even done. And they've been tattooing 20 years because they're still stuck in upstate New York tattooing, doing nothing with their lives. You know what I mean? Tattooing the same people over and over. So it's like, you're getting paid with a life changing experience. And it's not saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not, because every shop runs it different. And, I have buddies that own shops and they treat their apprentices amazing. My one buddy, Russ, his crew has it really, really well. And, I respect how he runs business. And, I've actually switched up a lot of things I've done because of how he runs things. And, we kind of balance off each other with, things we do differently. And when it comes to apprentices and stuff, he always gives me props on how good my crew is doing, and he always asks me, how, and I'm just like, bro, they just do their thing. I don't do anything. You know what I mean? And the crew I got, thank God, they have the mentality I do when it comes to that. They're grateful for the knowledge. They don't want money. They make their own money. And they've always made their own money.
I just think that also, like, on your side at least, when you get apprentice, sometimes it's like I've heard like so many people have like really, really bad experience from the people that are teaching them. They treat them like shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's you putting a rope over your own neck as a teacher.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. It sucks that you have to be like I understand like people go through like rough experiences and they just like want to do the same thing to others. Like I get that, but it's not logical. Like I know you're not gonna pamper your apprentice. You gotta like teach them hard and stuff and blah blah blah, but not make their life miserable.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that a lot. I've seen that. Oh, do this, do that, but like rude way. Like, dude, he's volunteering. That's like the other side. He's volunteering here. He's taking time off work to be here, and you're just treating him like shit.
Yeah.
And that side also happens. It happens, and it sucks.
It does suck.
Yeah, it's unfair. It's unfair because you're squishing someone's,
It's not it's not always rainbows. Like, I've had screaming matches with some of my apprentices, but it's always ended up in a hug and, okay, let's fix this problem and we call it a day.
Jokes.
So what I mean? It's like once again, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you have to value each other's time. So we're gonna end this with, if you want to be an apprentice, do it properly. Get a portfolio, get a bio, like a resume. Be on time and respect your mentor, and don't ask for money. Okay, we got our moderator that's gonna read out comments, and we're gonna answer the comments on our Instagram.
All right, your first question is from Alluring Remains. They asked, how do you even get an apprenticeship? What makes you good enough to earn one?
Well, that's the homie right there. But anyway, so I would say a strong portfolio. If you're bringing me your drawings and your paintings, like, paintings are probably top A. Like, I'm gonna probably hire you just because you did a painting. And then if they look good, I'm like, wow, they really took their time to do a painting. I'm gonna look at your value of art. If your artwork looks like chicken scratch on notebook paper, you're not gonna get the job. Your schedule, if you can't dedicate 30, maybe 40 hours a week, can't use you. And it's like back to like respect. You know what I mean? If I say I want my shop drug free, then don't come to work fucked up.
And the attitude.
Attitude is a plus. Mm-hmm. Yes, attitude is a plus. So, you guys got anything else you want to add to that?
Nope.
No? Okay, what's the next one?
All right, your next question is from Jillian Hobbs 519. They asked, being an apprenticeship is like being on probation. What would be reasons someone would fail the apprenticeship? Have you ever had anyone who didn't cut it, and why?
Oh, so yeah. Well, they would simply fail the apprenticeship by failing themselves. I don't technically fire people, I let them fire themselves. My big thing is people create their own paths. And if something's not for them, they show their true colors.
Yeah.
And their attitudes change. they start slacking, they stop coming in, or they stop drawing, and you start seeing change in them. And that right there, they start firing themselves just off of that. So honestly, like, if I was to let somebody go, it would be simply because they're not like benefiting the shop in a sense.
Yeah.
Without sounding greedy, not saying like money wise. I mean, like, if you're in my shop and you're just sitting there wasting time, you're wasting shop time. You're not learning, you're not being productive, you're wasting my time, the shop time, and everybody else around you. So, and what was the other question?
Have you ever had anyone who didn't make the cut? And
Oh yeah,
why?
no, definitely had a few. But the thing is, once again, it goes back to I have nothing bad to say about anybody. I respect everybody's decisions, even people I have let go. I don't do bad blood. For some reason, it's always the owner, the boss. We're always the bad person, and it's like you just simply didn't work out. I don't know what to tell you. Only it's not toxic masculinity. You just didn't work out. It's like figure your life out before you want to dedicate your life to a career. Because if your life isn't prepared to give up time,
Yeah.
you're not going to be a
Sacrifice.
tattoo artist. You have to sacrifice a lot. So,
I think one advice I would give, like, as a person that waited a hell of a long time to get into the business, because it was a long time. I think my advice is that even though it's hard, to keep the excitement of something, like you said, there's a lot of apprentices that just like lack of it and just like lose interest or don't see the butter in the toast. I just really think that there's gonna be moments like that when you're down because something didn't come out right or something didn't go the way you wanted or you're not making the money you thought you were. So I just think that before you start, think about all those possibilities because they're gonna happen, and when they happen, just remember that you're learning. And I like my experience. I sometimes feel bad because, oh, shucks, but then I'm learning about everything. I'm a sponge. I learn every day something new, and I get better once I do it again and again and again. So I just think like my advice is hold on to that feeling. Like you're gonna learn, you're gonna screw up sometimes, but it's fixable. It's not the end of the world. Because I know that some people like really leave the industry or really leave the dream, and they have so much talent because of it. Because they're scared or because whatever it is. So my advice is to hold on to the feeling that you're still learning. Be humble enough to accept that you made a mistake and, keep going.
that's the thing too. And this will probably be the final thing. But being humble is everything. I was very toxic in the beginning of my career. I fought with everybody, argued with everybody. And, being humble and not burning bridges as an apprentice to me is vital.
It's pulling up a wall on yourself.
Yeah. If you're burning bridges so early and you're shop hopping so early, chances are your career is only going to go downhill because future clients, and their friends, they pay attention and they watch. And, unfortunately, you being toxic yourself and shop hopping and this shop was no good for me. Well, there's one common denominator, and it's like a relationship. Okay.
Oh, we're good. We're getting there.
So if a person says every relationship they had was bad and abusive, there's only one common denominator, and it comes back to that person.
Yeah.
If somebody's hopping jobs, like I don't care if you worked at 5 different gas stations, there's still one common denominator, and it's not the job. So if you're one of those if you're one of those people, then you neither reevaluate yourself, because I used to be one of those people. And I'm telling you from experience that you need to regroup yourself, get your mind right, and focus on what's right for you, because the tattoo industry ain't got time for it.
Yeah.
So on that note, it was a pleasure. You guys want to say bye?
Goodbye.
And you guys have a good night, and tell your mom I said good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.